Up for his 8th nomination, his 8th BAFTA tonight, Benedict Cumberbatch. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you for having me again.
Speaking of Patrick Melrose, this must have been a very complicated character to play.
It was, but made all the easier by a superlative, now award-winning adaptation from a superlative and award-winning series of novels. So I mean, when you've got novels to work with as a blueprint for character, you can't ask for any more. And also Teddy himself, who is incredibly helpful, whose life it pretty much parallels as a story. So yeah, it was complicated, but not half as complicated as it was for him to live it. So.
Had you read the novels before?
I had. I weirdly said on a forum, a Reddit forum, I was asked if I had a bucket list. I went, not really, but there's one classical role I'd really like to play, Hamlet, and I'm reading this series of books, which I'm just blown away by. And so that's how it came about. And luckily I was the right guy at the right time, because there were 2 scripts already in the works that David Nichols had written, and Rachel Horowitz and Michael Jackson, who produced it, had already started the ball rolling. So when they heard I was interested, we kind of met and talked about it. And
do you get used to this? People shouting your name?
I'm shaking. It's weird. It's very odd, and it's embarrassing because you can't do everything for everybody. It's very hard to see who's more worthwhile as far as autograph hunters go, so I tried to look for someone who looks like they might have stayed up all night or is getting crushed, and tried to give them something that they've waited for, but it's crazy.
In case you can't hear on the mic, there is loads of people behind us screaming.
They're being reasonably well behaved. Before, when I've had this interview, they just go, Benedict.
They can be quite boisterous.
I said it, and now they're starting already.
This is what they're calling at the moment the golden era for television. Are you proud of British television at the moment?
Very.
Is there any programmes you've seen that you're loving? Any documentary series?
Killing Eve, Fleabag, a lot of American stuff as well. I've just been catching up with Succession, which is fantastic, and stars a brilliant Brit, Matthew McFadden, who's an old friend of mine, and Keely's husband. Bodyguard, mentioning Keely. Anything that Fiona Shaw's in, who's behind me. No, we're going through a great period of domestic golden age television, I think, but it's been, to be honest, I've been at these awards a few times now, as you said, and it's always an astonishing crop that we bring to the top. Doesn't make any sense what I just said. You know what I mean? The best of what we do is fantastic. It's world class. So I feel like it's a golden age that's been going on for a while. Very, very proud of what everyone's achieved here tonight. You know.
Most importantly, did you watch the Bros documentary?
I did actually watch the end of it. I came back after being out, and my wife, who was obsessed with them as a teenager,
really
very excited to meet them. Yeah, so she's gonna hate me for saying that.
Benedict, thank you very much. Have a good evening. Good luck.
Hi. Just because something feels perfect doesn't mean it should last forever.
The nominees for this first award know that it's not the length of a thing, but what you do with it that matters.
That as much as you're enjoying it when it's happening, there is something comforting in knowing that it will end.
We can say with confidence that in this category, size really does matter.
And the BAFTA goes to Patrick Melrose!
Thank you. So we collectively want to thank the fantastic people at Sky and at Sky Atlantic, particularly Anne Menser and Zy Bennett, our amazing production team, and we had a great adapter in David Nichols. Edward Berger is an amazing director, and I think all of us were brought to this project by the fantastic writing of Edward St. Aubyn. And this is an adaptation of his 5 Patrick Melrose novels. And we hope you like the series, but frankly, the books are better. And they are available in all good bookstores. Thank you.
and gentlemen, Graham, it's always an honour to present this evening, which is why I'd think I'd remember my right glasses, but I haven't, ladies and gentlemen. So excuse me while I read the autocue. It is hard to imagine a field stronger than the leading actor category this year. All with such towering ability. What self-respecting actress like myself could stand here and say they wouldn't want Lucian's pose, Chance's youthful grace, Benedict's sheer power, or Hugh's phone number? Oh, there's more. But seriously, I'd like to congratulate them all. I would. I saw them all, and they are 4 phenomenal performances. Congratulations. The 2019 BAFTA for Best British Actor goes to Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, gosh, I think I'm going to fall over. I breathe rarefied air, but I'm very used to being a bridesmaid, not the bride. Thank you, BAFTA, for this. And I breathe rarefied air because it's a gift what we get to do as storytellers. It's even more of a gift when it's material as refined as this series, penned by David and directed by Ed Berger, produced by Rachel and Michael and my best friend Adam Ackland, with a crew to die for and a cast: Jennifer, Jason, Lee, Jessica, Anna, and everybody. Rudy, I'm going to forget the names now, but I'll keep it short because I think everyone probably does need to go to the bathroom by now. But we all stand on one man's shoulders, an extraordinary human being, the greatest gift and reward of which is being able to say I'm his friend. The man who wrote the 5 novels that this was based on, whose life mirrored much of what Patrick Melrose endured in the series and in the books. That's Edward St. Alban. Thank you for your wit, your courage, an extraordinary thing to try and mirror and achieve, and to bring home a story of salvation and great kindness, which is what you embody, my friend. So this is for you. I do have to thank one other person who's very important in my world, which is my wife, Sophie, and our family. Yeah, you're my rock. I had to go pretty weird for this one. There were some things I had to do, and it was very nice to come home and feel stable again. And my agent, John Grant, for putting up for me with I'm very unstable. He'll have to give me a drink after this. Everyone who works at Conway Van Gelder, Elaine, obviously, I have to mention you. Karen Hartley-Thomas, you can come back into the country now. She left because she couldn't bear to see me not winning. It's all right. I've got one, and I'm going to bring it home. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night.
Taking home the BAFTA for Best Miniseries. Congratulations to the team of Patrick Melrose.
Thank you.
Guys, where to begin? I mean, look, recently you won the BAFTA for the Craft Award for writing. Where did you begin when... Hello, hi, have a new edition. Hi. Why not? The more the merrier. It's a wonderful time. Where do you begin when it comes to adapting these books? Because there's so much material.
Well, we began with a great adapter, David Nichols, and it's taken about 7 years from the first meeting we ever had to getting to being here tonight. So it's been a journey.
Absolutely. Benedict, there's so much darkness in this character, but, you know, darkness is truth. What do you want people to take away from watching the series? Well,
then ultimately it's a story of salvation. It's about one man's extraordinary triumph through a pressure cooker of trauma to create a survivor himself somebody who can contribute to the world with love and trust and understanding. And it's a long, painful journey for him in particular, and for our wonderful, wonderful writer who originated these books, Edward St. Alban, who lived these books, I should say. And he's a sort of living proof that you can do that. Absolutely. And so in amongst, as you put it, the sort of the trauma, I guess, of it, there's a great deal of humour and love and, in the end, salvation.
And with your fan base, have you found they've reacted to this work differently than other things you've done in the past?
Not particularly, no. They've really gone with it, you know. It's an incredible story, and it's a universal one of suffering and salvation, but also childhood and parenting and class and politics and humour and period and everything you could throw at it, really, and condensed by the most brilliant writing on both sides of the book and the screenplay, and an incredible director in Ed Berger, a fantastic producing team, Rachel and Michael, who brought it all together in the first place, and a family of HODs and cast that you really couldn't repeat, and well, we'd like to, because it was a winning one.
Well, it's a BAFTA well worth it. I mean, the miniseries format has really taken to the British public, I think, in a way that we haven't seen before. Why do you think people love watching drama in this way?
Over to you, Ed. You've done a few.
Well, it's just gratifying. I think that you can watch a story from beginning to end, and you know it ends somehow, and you have to only commit 6 hours of your time, you know? And you can actually, it's like a longer movie, and you have the luxury of experimenting with the format, of going back in time, of jumping forward, what you can't do in features, really, because you don't have enough time. So I think it's a wonderful, to me, it's the best format there is, that you can have that luxury of experimenting with the format and yet bring it to a satisfying end, and have the entire team, this team, basically all was responsible for it, including with the crew. And this team stayed with it from beginning to end. So that's something incredibly gratifying to bring to the audience. And I think the audience feels that.
Absolutely. And we're feeling it indeed, because you have this BAFTA. So, guys, once again,
they're heavy.
They are a bit heavy, aren't they? But a weight worth holding. Congratulations for your BAFTA, the team of Patrick Melrose, best miniseries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Congrats. He's back again. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
on
much.
Your second BAFTA of the night.
I'm utterly speechless. I really am. Apart from, I realised getting off stage, I forgot to thank BAFTA. So thank
Please
you,
do.
BAFTA, very, very much. Belatedly, I really did just see headlights up there. And a lot of people who looked a little bit sort of sweaty and hungry and in need of a bathroom break. So I sped it up. But my mum and dad as well. I forgot to thank my mum and dad.
Well, look, you just did it now.
I did it now.
Congrats again for congrats such an incredible piece of drama.
Thank you.
We spoke about it earlier, but how, I guess, grateful are you for Patrick's existence? Like, what has he taught you about yourself as an actor?
A great deal. Well, those are two good questions. I mean, the first one, I'm incredibly grateful. It's someone's lived truth made fictional, but only just. And so to be entrusted with that alone is precious. And then when it is crafted from such, some of the greatest prose of the 21st century, what century we're in. And I really do mean that. They are astonishing books. And I'm not just trying to push my friends' book sales, but they're exquisite. And you know, he crafted that out of an experience which was forged out of child abuse from the age of 5 to 10. He was serially raped by his father, and he descended into chaos in his late teens and early 20s as a drug addict, and yet he managed to pull free into a sobriety that resulted in not only those works, but also being one of the kindest, gentlest, most generous human beings I've ever had the good fortune to meet, and great fun to hang out with, incredibly witty, debonair, and just a straight-up hero of mine now. And, you know, as an actor, yeah, of course, there were places I had to go. There was aging, there was losing weight, there was drug addiction, there was dealing with sort of sitting with this horrible black dog of a nightmare of a childhood inside of every heartbeat of him as an adult. But brought home by the most amazing team behind me and helped endlessly by everybody else around me. So I can't take solo credit for that. And it was a great thing to try and achieve. And I'm just incredibly grateful.
I can feel your gratitude.
I really
can.
am. I'm a lucky guy. Like I said at the beginning, I breathe rarefied air. I'm very, very fortunate to be standing here. So thank you.
Benedict, thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
And you get back to the party.
I will. Thank you.
Have a good one.